would like to thank one of my subscribers, JG, for this article. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, here's another case, this time gardening while black. Detroit judge tosses gardening while black case brought by 3 white women. Boy, this white woman just keeps cropping up over and over and over and over. October 18th, 2018. Throughout 2017 and early 2018, 3 white women called the police dozens of times, making increasingly serious allegations against Mark Peoples, a black man. Peoples was building a community garden on the vacant Hunt Playground on Colton Street, adjacent to the state fairgrounds. One of the women, Deborah Nash, lives across the street from the park, while the others live nearby. So in other words, they don't really live around the park like the one did. Peoples claim the women didn't like his project, so they began calling the police, fabricating serious charges when police wouldn't come out for illegal gardening allegations. Illegal gardenings, that was the best thing y'all could come up with against a black man? Damn. Those culminated with charges that Peoples was a pedophile. So when they called the police on him gardening and they didn't seem to respond, they started calling him a pedophile to 911. Yeah, it's just like Hillary Thornton. Oh, he choked me. She told the cops Darian Tolles choked her, and he never choked her at that door. But you see how they will lie just to get the cops out against a black person? Please take note, y'all. Please take note. This happens all the time, and we have seen it all the way up until now. So they called and started telling 911 this black man was a pedophile, was in the park threatening Nash with a gun, and participated in a drive-by shooting. So they just throw in the kitchen sink just to get the cops out against this black man. Eventually, Detroit Police Department and Wayne County Prosecutor's Office filed and brought 3 counts of stalking against Peoples. However, he and attorney Robert Burton Harris said most of the allegations were false and characterized Peoples' crime as gardening while black. 36 District Court Judge E. Lenice Bryan agreed. She tossed the case on Tuesday, calling it troubling and ridiculous. The 3 white women should be sitting in the defendant's table for stalking and harassment charges, not Mr. Peoples. This is what the judge is saying. Bryan said during the hearing. So she is saying this black man should not have been charged with nothing when the police department in the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, they should have went after the 3 white women for all the fake phone calls and for harassing him and for stalking him. Instead of doing that, they charged the black man. You see that? They all stay on code, ladies and gentlemen. So I agree with this judge for throwing out the case against this black man. All he simply was doing was trying to do a community garden. And these 3 white women in the area would not leave him alone. But why aren't they brought up on charges? That's the real question. They brought the wrong one up on charges. So I'm glad the judge said what she did, that the three white women really should have been the ones in the defendant's seat and not this black man. You know, Judge Bryan, way to go. This is how most judges should be thinking, just like you. This is disgusting and a waste of the court's time and resources, she added before granting the defense motion for a directed verdict, which ended the case before it went in front of a jury. They were trying to get this shit in front of a jury. A man just gardening and a bunch of white women just calling in a bunch of fake out phone calls. Oh my God. On Thursday, Bryan told Metro Times she found the women filed false police reports, initiated all contact with Peoples, and engaged in a very targeted and constant harassment of the young man that appeared to be racially motivated. I found their testimony to be offensive. So they actually went to court and testified against this black man. And the judge even called their testimony disgusting and racist. Good. But see, ladies and gentlemen, see how far they're willing to go with their bogus phone calls? If they can get your life ruined and get you in court and try to throw some charges on you that really shouldn't be on you at all, you see how they'll go all the way with it? Even the judge said their testimonies were racist. That's why I'm telling you, all of these bogus phone calls, it's all about race. It's not about anything else. Though DPD filed the stalking charges, body camera footage from one police officer revealed him labeling one of the more serious allegation BS. Then, in my opinion, he should have arrested the woman that filed the BS report. Why didn't he do it? We know why. People said the motivation was to get him off what the white women considered their block. It was blatant racism. They didn't like the fact that a black man was in so-called their neighborhood without their permission, he said. Though he won the case, people said the women destroyed his life. He had to pay $3,500 to get out on bond. He paid for attorneys. He lost work contracts, and his name was dragged through the mud. A friend set up a GoFundMe page to help him recover some of the cost. No, Peoples, you file charges on those women and take them into civil court to recover your money. That's what you do. It's frustrating to have accusations placed on you with no merit, and they get you all the way into court to go to trial, people say. If someone believed their story and I was found guilty, I would be in county jail doing up to a year just because they don't want a black person in their area. They get to ruin my life, say anything they want, and then they get to go on with their lives. Unbelievable. The allegations. Court and police documents provided to Metro Times show Nash first claimed Peoples threatened to take her home, telling her, as soon as I say the word, you will be out of that house and I'm going to take it. Nobody can do that to you. Oh my God, these women are just making up shit, pulling shit from their ass. Oh my God. She alleged people said white people weren't allowed to live in a largely black neighborhood and accused her of stealing the home from Native Indians. Again, you can clearly tell white people made that up. Black people don't go around saying no shit like that. Nah. Nash also claimed Peoples painted gang colors red, black, and green on vacant houses and trees. No, trust me, those white women did that. They did that. Threatened to burn down their house and repeatedly threatened to kill her. Just out of the clear blue, he just started doing this. That was followed by charges that he participated in a drive-by shooting on her house and blocked the streets so she couldn't get to her house. You see all the lies they made up about him? I mean, I'm so glad the judge threw this stuff out. She went in overdrive trying to make stuff up. In March, Nash called the DPD while Peoples worked in the park and told officers he had a gun, which was untrue. When that didn't succeed in getting Peoples removed from the Hunt playground, Nash and her neighbors waited until Peoples had a group of children working in the garden, called the police, and told them Peoples was a pedophile who wasn't supposed to be around children. Let me go on. We feel that it is unsafe for him to be near us or around our houses, Nash wrote in documents that were part of April request for a personal protection order that would be denied. See, I mean, look, she made all them lies up, and at the end of the day, the courts denied her protection order because they knew she was lying, y'all. They knew. And see, this woman belongs behind bars for going this far and trying to accuse a black man of fake allegations. She and the two other white women, they should be sitting in jail right now for what they did. Judge Bryan and Peoples' attorney said Nash and the other women made false charges, contradicted some of their claims while on the stand, lied under oath, and made other charges that weren't believable. Burton Harris, this is the judge. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Mr. Peoples' attorney. Told Metro Times the pedophilia charges were the most egregious false claim. Peoples has never been accused of such. One of the women told the courts she learned from a principal at a nearby school that Peoples was a pedophile who wasn't supposed to be around kids. Then you should get that principal and also arrest them for making a false allegation. Why weren't they dragged into court? However, Burton Harris called that a blatant lie. Peoples was teaching homeschooled children about gardening. Burton Harris said, and the principals at nearby schools wouldn't have known Peoples or the garden. Prosecution provided no corroborations from an alleged principal. See, they made that up too. See, there you go. Burton Harris added, Nash told the courts that she hired Peoples to paint her house after he allegedly threatened to kill her, which discredited the claim. Nash also asserted Peoples and his friends called her the N-word, which the defense found incredible because she's white. In March, DPD sent 3 squad cars and 6 officers to the garden after Nash alleged that Peoples was threatening her with a gun. However, officers responding to the scene found Peoples raking leaves and cleaning up a vacant lot. In body camera footage provided to Metro Times, an officer is heard labeling the call BS. Then they should have arrested that woman. How come the officers keep calling the reports and the allegations false, but they're not doing nothing to the women making these fake ass phone calls and filing fake police reports? How come they're not doing nothing to them? They're not doing their jobs. Ain't no law against raking leaves, the officer is heard stating on body camera footage taken after officers are done investigating the incident. A few minutes later, an officer directed his partner to let DPD superiors know that the women told police that Peoples had a gun when he only had a rake. All right, y'all. This is just disgusting to me. All right, let me go on. The guy didn't have anything on him and wasn't wanted for anything, the officer is heard saying. They went to the end of the deal with this BS too. People's attorney said he put red, black, and green paint on the trees and vacant houses around the garden because they were Pan-African colors. This is what this white woman made up. Okay. And he boarded up vacant homes in the area to keep out crackheads. Burton Harris said he can't say for sure that the women would have acted differently if Peoples was white. Of course they would. But the elephant in the room is race. Of course they would. If he was white doing the same thing, there would have been not one phone call made to the police. Not one. Brian questioned the DPD and prosecutor's office judgment in moving forward with the case. I want the police and prosecutors to do a better job of vetting, she said. This is the judge talking to the police and the prosecutor's office because she said this should never have come to trial. In fact, those women should have been charged. Wayne County Prosecutor's Office spokesperson Maria Miller said the women were deemed to have provided credible allegations that supported the charges. But, she added, at trial, the three complainants were not able to present testimony in the case that supported the 3 counts of stalking, and the judge dismissed the case. Dismissed the case because you didn't have nothing, Maria Miller. You didn't have nothing. Meanwhile, Peoples is starting the process of putting his life back together. And he said he wants others to know the damage that the women's false accusations cause. People are giving these women, these ladies, funny nicknames, but this is serious. And I have to agree with that. I have to agree. After a while, the funny nicknames really, you're just trying to soften the blow of the real true seriousness of what's going on. So I agree with that. People are giving these ladies funny nicknames, but this is serious, he said. This is my life. What these people are doing is not cute. It's ugly. There you go. Wow. And he has a GoFundMe page. Let me see if I can go to that. Okay, so actually they're past the goal. He had a $5,000 goal. He got $5,569. Good for him. Good for him. I guess that's him right there. Good for him. Yeah, people are still donating too. I'm glad. You know, This man deserves it. He had, he should have never gone through everything that he did. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the link to the article and the GoFundMe in the description box. I might make a donation myself. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.